we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
This wins championship. And then you tell me about the guy that scored 43 every night. And that's true. The guy who hit the big shot. The defense tends to win championships. And last night, the defending champions may have been knocked out. It's certainly knocked down by defense. Oh, and that team was playing without the guy who was the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year in the National Basketball Association. Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Tuesday. Not if you're a Nuggets fan. A gruesome game up at Ball Arena last night in Colorado, 106-80. Minnesota went in there and pantsed the defending champs, 106-80. Denver shot 34.9% from the field. Jamal Murray shut down and beyond frustrated by Anthony Edwards. Had just 8 points, and the Nuggets are in a hole. They may not play in Denver again this year. Down 2-0. I said kind of got a win game. You said must-win game, but the way that looked, I'm on your side now. That was a must-win game, and I think they're done.
That had nothing to do with just being a bitter Nuggets fan. I know a little bit about something when it comes to basketball. I'm around it a lot. I watch a lot of basketball. And the Denver Nuggets are not built to compete with Minnesota Timberwolves. The physicality, the T-Wolves play defense unlike anyone else in the NBA right now. And then you look at the factors for the Nuggets. Is Jamal Murray, that dude can never take a clean shot. So he's not 100%, and all he is a tough shot maker, and he's not able to make tough shots against a better defense than the Los Angeles Lakers. And Nikola Jokic is coming off a series where he wasn't great. He put up numbers, and this is probably the worst he's played in the postseason in 2 games.
And I think it's because of what they're doing to him. And even without Rudy Gobert last night, Rudy Gobert, the leader, I think, in the clubhouse right now for Defensive Player of the Year, and that'll come out here in the next couple of days, was back home. They just had their first child, celebrating his first child, so he'll rejoin the team. And you figure, all right, here's an opportunity not to get run out of the building by 26. 26, and it wasn't even that close. It was the 30 at times. It was ugly. When I looked at this series, I said, all right, this is going to be really good. Because I thought the Nuggets are the defending champs. Nuggets are terrific. Nuggets know how to win. Nuggets have Jokic, Murray, Porter, Gordon. Like the Nuggets have this pedigree. And I looked at what Minnesota is, and boy, I love what Minnesota is. Everything they do defensively, they have maybe the best player in the game right now in Anthony Edwards. And I don't know, is Jokic, who's the best player in the NBA right now? Brunson, Edwards, Luka, Jokic.
Like, as of today?
Who's the best player in the game today? Who's the best player in basketball?
I think Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, right? Go back and forth.
And Anthony Edwards has got to be right at the top of that list. And so does Nikola Jokic, by the way. He does.
Not this morning.
He may have had a couple of bad games, but, I mean, if you're starting a franchise, he's in your top 5, isn't he? Then I'm taking that dude. You might take Anthony Edwards first, but, boy, Nikola Jokic is something different. I'm not going to downplay a guy who's going to be the 3-time MVP here in a week.
It's going to be a rough one for him.
Well, fine. But he's going to get it, and yeah, he hasn't been great in the last couple of games. I agree with you. Do you think he shouldn't get MVP?
No, I think it's going to be similar to the Dirk Nowitzki year, when he got MVP, and then now it's not as bad. Minnesota is a fantastic basketball team. I think they're the best basketball team left. And you can debate that between them and the Celtics.
Well, we might debate that on the court.
I'm looking forward to that in the NBA Finals. When the Mavs lost in the first round to the Warriors, when Dirk got MVP, he's going to take it because a lot of people don't like Jokic. A lot of people think he shouldn't have gotten those anyway, and they're going to enjoy watching him get pushed around this series.
I think there's a lot of people who backed off of that up until the last couple of days. After they won last year, I think a lot of people backed off. I thought it was a regional bias, and I'm not going to lie, I think there was a racial component on the Jokic thing. But I think when he won last year and people got a good look at him and watched him go through the playoffs and watched him win a championship, I think people got off of the whole he doesn't deserve it anymore. And Joel Embiid got his, and so but he's going to get it. JJ, Minnesota's that good. And for them to go do what they did without Rudy Gobert, and to get 27 out of Towns and 27 out of Edwards, and they didn't even need to go bonkers, right? They could have done whatever they wanted to do. I mean, I look at their stat sheet, and it's like, wow, it's not even that impressive, right? Only 2 starters scored double figures. They had a couple guys. Naz Reid came off the bench, and then Alexander came off the bench and scored. Alexander Walker scored 14, which didn't even feel like it meant that much. The game was done at halftime. They demoralized, to me, and the incident with the heating pad or whatever the hell it is with Jamal Murray. And I want you to go into that a little bit because I don't know if you can get suspended for that. You throw something like that on the floor, and they slowed it down. You look how close dudes came to slipping on a heating pad that was thrown on the floor out of frustration by Jamal Murray. He may not even play in the next game.
I don't think they're going to suspend him.
You don't think so? I would. Honestly, I think that's suspendable.
Yeah, if throwing something on the court, I'm here for it. Like, I'm listening to that debate. Jamal Murray's been bad. He made 2 game-winning shots. He had 1 big fourth quarter. He's not 100%, but that doesn't mean the rest of the Denver Nuggets should be getting bullied. And they are. The Timberwolves have taken this series to a level that Denver can't get to.
Yeah, the defense has shut him down. So Murray was held to 8 points last night on 3 for 18 shooting. He did have 13 rebounds. He had 4 turnovers. Mark Davis is the referee, and he said the Nuggets point guard, Murray, should have been assessed a technical foul when he threw the heating pad onto the floor during live action. I mean, the game was going on, dude. Guy was frustrated. He throws it right into the middle of what's going on. And you look at it, man, Karl Anthony Towns is inches from it. I mean, what if a dude slips on that, his foot goes out, he blows out his groin, he's done for the season? Which, by the way, groin, ankle, knee, pick it. Really isn't that far-fetched, is it? That's why you don't throw crap on the floor. If somebody in the stands threw something on the floor, you throw them out of the game, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not here. I want to see the Nuggets at their best. I do. I want to see them come back at their best in game 3.
The refs admitted they just flat out didn't see it.
Okay, is that what happened?
Yes, after the game, they said they didn't see that incident.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, look.
Like they said he should have been assessed a technical foul.
You're watching. You got 3 dudes watching what's on the floor. You're not watching the bench. I think that's totally feasible. They also have replay that's got everything. Right? And they go back and unless it's a Knicks game where you say a guy kicked a ball where he didn't kick a ball, you can replay everything. Right? Done? I mean, sweep 5? What are you thinking? How are they going to win a game now? That's a
good job, good effort, good night. The series is over.
Yeah.
Like it's not one.
Pick your number.
Like watch 4.
4? You think they get sweeped?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure for Jamal Murray to get suspended. Reggie Jackson sprained his ankle. Caldwell Pope is playing on that ankle. Yeah. How's this team supposed to win a game in Minnesota?
I don't know. I honestly don't, especially if Murray's not there, forget it. Maybe they win game 4 and get a gentleman's sweep when they get back. But
not the way Minnesota's playing.
Way. Minnesota is the only team that hasn't lost a game in the playoffs
yet. Like it starts with Minnesota. The fact you have 2 go-to scorers. That Rudy Gobert, he's not the linchpin of their defense. He's nice, but they're showing you that team is dogs from top to bottom. It's about the length and athleticism they have 1 through 5, even without Rudy Gobert. Naz Reid is the 6th man of the year. He started all those games Karl Anthony Towns was out. And no one plays like they do.
No.
They pick up dudes full court.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are dogs, man. And they're like you look at Edwards, and if you haven't figured him out yet, it's on you. Everybody in the world's raving about him and telling you how great he is. And if you haven't seen it, that's fine. Find it at some point. But he plays both ends of the floor. JJ, he can shoot from deep. He can beat you at the rim. He can lock you down. He can post you up. He can play post defense. He is right now. I mean, I don't know. If you're starting a team, you're starting a franchise right now, you can tell me you want, who would it be? Wembanyama? You can tell me Jokic. You can tell me Jalen Brunson. You can tell me Luka. You can tell me, who? This dude.
Anthony Edwards he's 22 years old. He has an old school mentality to him. The way he plays the game of basketball, it's Kobe-like. He doesn't like anyone. He's not there to be your friend.
I want to kill everything in front of me.
His offense has evolved to where he's a 3-level scorer. Defensively, he can play with the stars because of his size. He's going to guard everyone except the center, but he'll try.
And he's 22 years old.
Like this Minnesota team, you watch them play, to me, they're destined to be in the NBA Finals this year.
Okay. I want to see them against Boston or whatever comes out of it. Right? Part of me wants to see them in Indiana. The networks would hate it. Because I want to get into Indiana. Because I watched them last night. I thoroughly enjoyed them. And I feel that they got robbed of a chance last night. And maybe not necessarily robbed of a game because I think they made some plays down the stretch that let the Knicks back in. And the Knicks let themselves back in. Boy, were there some bad calls. We're here for you today. Here's what we're doing today. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line. It is our text line as well. So send us texts, or phone calls at 505-246-0610. Email Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show there. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26 around the state of New Mexico, YouTube channel for ProView Networks, and, of course, our Facebook page. Guest list today, coming up at 8:30 this morning. We're going to talk with the head coach and technical director of New Mexico United. Eric Quill will be with us. Big one tomorrow night out at the ball pitch when Real Salt Lake comes in for a U.S. Open Cup match, the first time United has ever hosted an MLS squad. A big day for the franchise, or I guess you call it a club, right? They're not franchises, they're clubs. A big day for the club, and we'll talk to Eric about that as they get ready for that, how you can get out there and what it means. Because the U.S. Open Cup still, certainly for the USL teams, maybe not the MLS teams, but for the USL teams, it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal. And when you get a matchup against an MLS team, which you don't know what it's going to look like in the future with the MLS teams trying to pull out of the U.S. Open Cup. You get a chance in a round of 32 to have one come to your built. Should be very exciting tomorrow night.
So we'll do that at 8:30. We'll talk with Eric. By the way, his team's playing really well and near the top of the table in USL Western Conference standings or the table. When we come back, and if you want to get on the Nuggets last night, like Nugget fan, you can be pissed. Like you go on a championship last year, it means nothing when you go through this one. But that last night, you got punched in your building last night. You got pantsed, punched, beat up, embarrassed, run around, and now you got to go up to their place and try to win too. Because to win this series, you got to win 4 out of 5 from a team who hadn't lost yet in the playoffs. 505-246-0610. We come back. How about those two calls at Madison Square Garden? Pacers coach says, I don't expect that we're going to get any calls in here, but it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Knicks beat Indiana 121-117, game one of the Eastern Conference semifinal. Jalen Brunson at 43 becomes the fourth player in the history of the NBA with 4 straight 40-point games in the postseason. But that's not really the story. Knicks were down all night, staged to come back late. Indiana had some turnovers, and then there were some calls to go against Indiana. There was they forced a turnover, and the refs called a kick ball, and clearly it wasn't. And this is where you're going to have to help me a little bit. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbiota, JJ Buck. You can get in at 505-246-0610. So I can review everything, man. I can review if a guy stepped on a line. I can review a moving screen, but I can't review if the ball hit a man's foot and when it clearly didn't. How does that one not make the list of reviewable calls? Because clearly that should. Why wouldn't that be? And is that in the rules that you cannot review a kicked ball call? What? All these violations I can review. Over and back I can review. Did he step on the line? I can review. Was it a three-pointer? I can review that. And Indiana got hosed right there. Then the Knicks scored on that. Jalen Brunson scored. And then on the other side, Miles Turner gets called for an offensive foul, illegal pick, when they were down by one trying to take the lead. JJ, what was there was a college game. It was in the tournament this year that was decided on a call like that. Wasn't there? Would you remember what it was? And we came back and had the same conversation.
Is UConn and Iowa? Final
Women's
four.
game?
Final four.
Women's game?
Yes. Iowa men did not get that far.
Yeah. I'm trying to. It wasn't it?
It was
very similar, wasn't it?
It was very similar. And to me, this one was not as clear and obvious as the one we saw in the Final Four.
I don't think this was a foul, man. I don't know how you call that there.
Yeah, that one didn't hit me as that needs to be an offensive foul.
So, I firmly believe that referees are. Well, I know we believe they're human beings. Human beings get caught up in the emotion, and when an arena's going like that, you see calls go that way. And I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but I kind of feel it is. The referee, the building was on fire, and referee got caught up in the emotion. Why make that call there? A, I don't think it's the right call, but B, you don't make that call in the third quarter. You don't make it in the first quarter. Why make that call there?
And I think one of the things that would have kept me away from calling it was how much embellishment DiVincenzo did on the screen.
Yeah, he flopped down like he got shot. Like I thought he played soccer. Oh, I'm sorry. Not bad. But he did. He did. I am now give it to the Knicks, man. They came back and they are gutsy. This
you can't give them any slight hope because they will make that play. They made that shot all postseason long. So if you give them just the slightest opening, they're going to make the play.
They got dogs, man. DiVincenzo's a big shot maker. And Brunson finds him, and you figure Brunson's going to have the ball, and Jalen Brunson obviously just completely trusts him, huh? And then you throw Josh Hart in there, the Villanova three that they got. They're terrific. And I think they're going to win this series. Boy, I thought they were outplayed last night. I really, really, really liked what the Pacers did last night. I really liked what the Pacers did last night. I thought Siakam was good. What did he have last night? Siakam had 19 and 6. Turner had 23. They get 18 off the bench. TJ McConnell from Arizona has been really good for them. I thought Indiana outplayed them the majority of the night. And good for the Knicks to come back. I just thought those two calls were horrible. Tell me why you can't review that kicked ball when it was so blatantly wrong. I mean, is it just in the rules? Okay, we can review everything else except for if it's a kick ball.
Yeah, it's just not one that they have down as reviewable.
Why?
Why does any league have stuff that's not reviewable?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I can review that. There was one that was overturned. There was a foul on, I think it was Halliburton, who raked down and was called for foul, and they reviewed it. He got all ball. It was a clear recovery by Siakam, so they gave the ball to the Pacers a few minutes earlier, right? So they reviewed that. I can review if a dude makes a foul, but I can't review if a ball hits a guy's foot when it blatantly never even came close to it.
I think it's a situation where leagues, when you get to that point in the final 2 minutes, should just make every call reviewable, because it's not going to speed things up. You're already reviewing stuff. You're already going to the monitor for out of bounds plays. So having things that you determine, well, that's going to be clear regardless. We don't need to review it. Just put everything on the table in the final 2 minutes.
you know what? I actually really like where you're going with this, and it's kind of what the NFL does. So should you have a replay official on this, and maybe you already do at the table, and when he saw that replay, hey, light it up or buzz the guy or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's fine in that case.
Let's look at it, right? And just have a replay official that anything that looks like it should be reviewed, review it, and so you shouldn't have to challenge in the last 2 minutes of the game. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I'm okay with the challenge, but I think things like this, where it could just be quick, like, hey, that was missed call, that was not a kickball.
Quick.
Yeah.
And it would
someone wouldn't have to use a challenge in that case.
That's kind of what you're saying. Yeah, no, I 100%. Now, I don't know what they would have done with the ball if they got it. There's no guarantees that they would have gone down and scored or whatever. They turned the ball over on a possession previous. But that was just so bad. For the life of me, I don't understand why you can't do that. Why you can't connect. Rick Carlisle, or why you can't review it. Rick Carlisle is the coach of the Pacers, and he said, "Look, man, we don't expect to get any calls in here, but you'd like to think they'd let something like that go and let these players decide it, and you'd like to think they'd let it go and let the players decide it." The offensive foul call. Why? And they just flat out missed the other one. If you're in Indiana this morning, you're screaming your head off, aren't you?
You are. Especially late in the game. There's no way to spin it. They're going to think, there's an agenda and yada, 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 this, and the NBA is trying to.
Want New York in there.
Okay.
There's a big push for that.
And that narrative is always going to be there if you lose a game. And it's like, well, they're not doing any slowdown in Minnesota right now.
Yeah, but who do they want in the West? I mean, it's Denver, Dallas, and
Dallas.
Oklahoma City. What's the biggest market? Dallas. But, I mean, at that point, All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, Jalen House is getting his shot, as he should. What's his path? And big news for him yesterday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message brought.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because
Coach, technical director of New Mexico United. Second place in USL West. They're 5 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, 16 points. They will host Real Salt Lake, round of 32 U.S. Open Cup. Tomorrow night, he'll be with us coming up at 8:30. 9 o'clock, kicking it with Kenny. Kenny Thomas will be here. See the new name on the Arizona Bowl? See the new title sponsor they got yesterday, Jake? The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Snoop and Dre. I knew that was coming. I knew that for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that party.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. I saw them a couple times over the last couple of weeks, and they were just working on the announcement. It's a big one for them. Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Snoop and Dre. It's Mountain West, and so that could be Globos. Mountain West and Mac in that game down in Arizona. It'll be on the 28th. I believe it's the 28th. Let's just look at that. What's their date? I'm pretty sure it's the 28th. 27th, Friday the 27th of December. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbiota, J.J. Buck. A great opportunity for Jalen House, the former Lobo guard. It's so weird sometimes, right? When you say a guy like him, who's been a Lobo for 3 years, now to say former Lobo always sounds kind of weird to me. But he's got an opportunity. He was one of 3 players added now to the 44-man invite list for the 2-day G League Elite Camp. It's in Chicago next week, and this is draft-eligible players, and they work out. They run through drills, and they'll do 5-man scrimmages, and there'll be NBA scouts and front office execs. And some people have deemed, however they grade them at the top of the camp, get offered invitations to the NBA Draft Combine, which is the following week also in Chicago. And that 78 pro prospects have been invited to that. I think it's a great opportunity for him, and I think he's earned it. JT Toppin's been invited to the Draft Combine, and House is trying to join him there. I think this is a great opportunity for him. I don't know where he plays. I don't know where he fits in. I see a lot of different guys in the NBA, JJ, and I don't know if he's an NBA guy now or will be. But I see guys that play like him. I know he's smaller, but I think he plays defense. I think he creates, and I'd love to see him get a shot.
Absolutely. This is what you're looking for at this point, is an opportunity to get in front of scouts that could open up avenues, whether it's the G League, NBA, potential opportunities overseas. This is where it starts, and these events are important to players that are outside the top 60. That's where Jalen House is right now.
Last year, from this particular camp, 7 players were then invited to go on to the NBA Combine. And you see, man, there's a lot of comparisons. Who does House play like? You hear Jose Alvarado a lot of the New Orleans Pelicans, 6 foot, 179 pounds. House is what, about that, right, in that area. And you look at Alvarado, he was said he was too small. He came out of Georgia Tech. He got invited to the G League Elite Combine, and that set him on a path. So I don't know. At 6 feet, 170 pounds, a dude that can do what he can do. I think he got way better offensively. I know you're going to tell me he can't shoot. Well, that's fine. He doesn't have to be a shooter, right? He can defend and get to the basket and create.
He's going to have to show some of that.
Better.
Yes.
Better.
Be able to search for Jose Alvarado is the easiest comp. If you're looking at how could Jalen House make an NBA roster, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Which is just outrageous defense, going 120 miles per hour every second.
And bringing something to a team that just that X factor. So, all right, the other thing in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama was the unanimous MVP. I'm sorry, Rookie of the Year. And I think this was easy. This was done. This was as good as Chet Holmgren was. Wembanyama was terrific. He garnered all 99 first-place votes. Chet Holmgren came in second with 98 second-place votes. So this was an easy one, too. So he's the 6th unanimous Rookie of the Year in the last 40 years. The others were Ralph Sampson, David Robinson, Blake Griffin, Damian Lillard, Karl Anthony Towns. And this is you see the numbers he put up: 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 3.6 blocks. He played about 30 minutes a game. Pop really reeled him in and didn't overplay him. So when you start parlaying those numbers over just 30 minutes a game, JJ, he was everything he was supposed to be.
He's legit.
Yeah, sometimes you live up to the hype.
And Victor Wembanyama absolutely did that. And now it's time for San Antonio to get a couple experienced players in there and try to win some basketball game.
Well, and they got, and not that this is an insanely deep draft at the top, but they've got the 5th longest odds to get the number 1 pick in the lottery that'll come up this weekend. 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Edward.
Well, good morning. Still recovering from old Cinco de Mayo. Hey, a couple of things I want to talk about. Well, Wemby not only should win unanimous Rookie of the Year, which he did, he should also be Defensive Player of the Year, but, of course, they won't give it to him, and they'll give it to Gobert, which, he's an amazing defensive player as well. I think that'll be his 3rd or 4th, but I think Wemby was Defensive Player of the Year. Here's where I was painfully inaccurate, guys. After the Nuggets disposed of the Lakers with 2 amazing game-winning shots, I thought they were going to breeze right through the rest of the playoffs. And to J.J. Buck's credit, even though he's a fan of the Nuggets, he said, I'm not sure. Pump the brakes there, Crusher. And, boy, you're seeing dismantling. And I think you're right, Jeff. You led the show with saying, I think they broke their spirit.
Yeah.
Quite honestly. And, I just think, to win 4 of the next 5 games is a tall task. And, it's tough to repeat about, after the last dynasty, the Golden State Warriors, I told my friends that I think we're going to see a series of single champions, meaning it's going to be very exceedingly difficult to repeat. And that's kind of what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, right, where nobody has had the ability to repeat. Let me say this about about Pat Riley. My man, Patrick James Riley, credit to him. Old Butler from the Miami Heat is kind of running his mouth on a podcast saying, if I was playing, these other teams would be home. And Pat Riley succinctly stated, I think that he needs to keep his mouth shut.
And the way he said it, he needs to keep his mouth shut. Like just the way he said it, like and go on, but it was just beautiful.
It was awesome, and that's the ultimate mic drop. And I like Butler. I think he's an amazing talent, and he's delivered in big moments. But if it got put in your place, that was it. I was at an establishment the other day watching sports, and you talk to a guy sitting next to you, and we talk about sports, and he was an Arkansas grad, and I said, I've always pulled for Arkansas because Nolan Rick, this guy was, in our demographic, Jeff, maybe even a little bit older. And I said, I've always rooted for him because Nolan Richardson, he went to UTEP and was part of that great team. And he's like, Nolan Richardson went to Texas Western? And I was like, how do you not know that as an Arkansas grad and a big sports fan? But it was a great conversation.
40 minutes
regarding the roast, I think self-deprecation is a great way to where people kind of get to know your personality a little better. Now, roasts are, anything's on topic, right? And I think that the details or the jokes about Hernandez were really poor taste, quite honestly. Outside of that, anything goes, right? Anything goes. But I think to come out and have Belichick, you see a little bit of his line, Kraft and the whole crew. And, it got a little goofy, but, everybody takes shots. But my favorite one of the night was when Brady got up there and he told Peyton Manning, hey, you might live in Louisiana part-time, or you might live in Denver part-time, but you'll forever live in my shadow. And he dropped the mic.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, have a beautiful day, and thank you for letting me share a few thoughts.
It was good. And then what did Eli say? I was going to go, but I didn't want to roast him 3 times. They were all, did you watch some of the highlights this year? I went back and watched them. It's hard for us to deliver the lines. It was good, dude. It was really, really, really well done.
It was solid. And just the backstories between everything, and some of that stuff, man, it's especially with Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, like that's not like, oh, let's be buddy. That's behind us. No, like Robert Kraft prevented that dude from getting a job.
Yeah,
like,
and Belichick did not want to be up there having a shot, and then Kraft leans over. I just want to say, Bill Belichick, just slurring, goofy, old, rubbed it down Robert Kraft. Oh, is that too much? Don't say that, bleep again. Doing his thing, and Belichick was just had his arm around Kevin Hart. It's like, man, I get it, and he had to come up. He had no choice, right? Belichick had to come up, but he wanted no part of being next to Robert Kraft. And to your point, Robert Kraft, by many reports, and nobody's denied it, went to Arthur Blank, who's the owner of the Falcons, and said, you don't want to hire this guy. You can't trust him. You basically shot it down. And, I mean, there are multiple reports on that. Nobody's denied it, correct?
No one's denied it.
And for, Belichick, it almost feels like this is going to work out really well for him. Like, honestly, he's going to take a year off. He's
getting humanized.
Yes.
But it's part of the, people watch him in those press conferences and like, yeah, you don't want to hire that guy. You don't want that guy around. And then you see him when he was with Pat McAfee doing the draft stuff.
Yes.
Kicking back and like, yeah, this is kind of like every other coach.
Remember, did you see the 30 for 30 with him and Parcells? And I said, there's a dude in there. There's a funny, like dude you kind of want to hang out with. Everybody's like, no, he's just grumpy. That's his act, dude. And that's what makes me like him even more. And I know people hate him, and I'm not supposed to like him. I don't even care. But the fact that he can stay in character, like 100% can stay in character in
it's
those.
Pretty impressive.
It's insane.
Because I've actually been around people like that, and you understand why, as outside looking in, you don't look past that, because that's the only interaction you have of said person. That's the only thing you get.
That's all you know
from said person. So to sit there and then try to tell people, well, no, you're all wrong on it. It's hard because you're like, okay, this is all I get from this person. Why would I?
It's all I've ever
like
seen.
them.
Yeah, that's all I ever know. I know. And then you see this. He's actually kind of funny. I mean, not like hysterical funny, but there's personality there. And man, Edelman was great. Bledsoe was funny. What was the comedian Nikki Glazer? Is that her name? She was hysterical. Kim Kardashian was good. Like I looked up the highlights yesterday and just watched some of it, and I laughed out loud sitting in my office by myself. There was some stuff. Now there was some stuff that was goofy and haha, whatever, that didn't go over well. But there was. I thought it was so well done. Why they do it in L.A. and not Boston? Just out of curiosity. It's because everybody's in L.A. now, where everybody lives. Everybody gets the hell out of there.
Yes.
They did it at the Forum, and that's where, I mean, it would have made sense, like, in New England, in Boston, but I'm fine with it. I'm just curious. I'm not upset like I am over you can't review a kick. That's ridiculous. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. What Pat Riley said and how he said it, you're going to hear that next because I think it's precious. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Sound.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
We hear about heat culture, right? It's on the floor, heat culture, and it was real. I don't know if it still is, but it was real. And Pat Riley is somewhat the architect of it. Former player, Laker coach, Nick coach, GM. The opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. So Jimmy Butler is playoff Jimmy, and he's, the big part of heat culture, right? I mean, playoff Jimmy. It doesn't matter how much he plays during the regular. He's playoff Jimmy. And he's going to ask for a 2-year extension this summer, probably somewhere in the area of $113 million. Turns 35 in September. He's missed 100 regular season games in 5 years in Miami. And he missed the end of the playoffs, and they got beat. And he was doing a TV interview with Jimmy Butler and said that, if I was playing, Boston would be sent home and New York would be sent home. And if I was playing, Pat Riley is the godfather of the NBA. Pat Riley is the president of the Heat. And Pat Riley responded to Jimmy Butler thusly.
I think the best team in the league, with the best roster in the league. He made some great moves. Brad Stevens did a great job in getting Holiday and Porzingis. They built their bench a little bit differently. And, for him to say that, I thought, is that Jimmy trolling or is that Jimmy serious? If you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut. And your criticism of those teams.
And the way he said it, man, he wasn't playing. You should keep your mouth shut.
It's the whole, I'm not upset, I'm disappointed.
Well, and I got to believe before he said it to the media, I'm going to guess he had that conversation with Jimmy Butler. You think? I don't think Pat Riley's the kind of guy who's shying away from it. And he alluded also in that press conference, how am I supposed to sign a guy to a $113 million deal when he didn't play? And to your point, again, I know I go to this a million times. The best ability is availability. And is he available? Look, they don't give a damn about the regular season, and that's why they're in the play-in tournament every year. Now, last year, they ran the table, right? Last year, they were able to get through the play-in tournament, beat the number 1 seed, and get all the way to the NBA Finals and lose to Denver. And so I think that gave them a little bit of a cushion. Oh, well, who cares about the regular season? We're going to get. No, it doesn't happen. That's a rarity. At some point, people are going to have to start caring about the regular season, don't you think? Or
they
no?
Do. The Heat are not that team.
Jimmy Butler's kind of that dude.
But I mean, they won the second most games they've won in 6 years.
And he still didn't play a lot.
I mean, they were 46 and 36.
All right.
So they were a game back of 2 games back of fourth place in the Eastern Conference.
Let me ask you this. You're Pat Riley, and Jimmy Butler comes into your office and says, I want a 2-year extension at $113 million. I'm 35 years old. I'm Jimmy Butler. I'm playoff Jimmy. You giving it to him?
From what he said yesterday, he is not.
Sounds like he sure as hell is not. He was talking about Tyler Hero, too. How am I paying that guy when they just don't play enough? I'll give it to Anthony Davis this year. He plays 73 games. right? He's the guy who's got the biggest rap on him and Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi got 3 years at 150 guaranteed, 149 point something, rounded up, like you do at Sprouts. I kind of loved it when I heard it yesterday because it's so rare. Does a guy call, a front office guy call? All these front office guys are afraid of their stars.
This one is a little tough though.
Why?
Because Jimmy Butler is not faking anything.
I agree with that.
Sprained his MCL.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Like, if you want to say, hey, he's 35 years old, we have questions about his availability, yes. But, like, he's not faking. This isn't...
I agree with you.
A bunch of load management.
So then why go out and talk, though, if you're not playing? Saskin. Who does that?
Because who...
No, honestly, I was thinking about it yesterday. Who else, has done that? Who's been sitting out and said, yeah, but if I was there...
I think 99% of the NBA.
Thinks it.
Yeah.
Thinks it.
And he's done it.
He has done it. Look, I love me some Jimmy Butler. I love me some Jimmy Butler. He's hard not to, he's one of the guys who's hard not to like in the NBA, isn't it? Hardworking, honest. I mean,
I understand the frustration if you're Pat Riley.
And I say honest as far as what he.
But also, if I'm Jimmy Butler, that's not a crazy thing to say because you shouldn't sell it so much when you were on the.
That was Jimmy Butler feeling now. Is he like, Pat Riley, I'm going to San Antonio? They'll pay me. Maybe they will. Eric Quill's going to be with us today, 30. We'll talk United's big match against MLS's Real Salt Lake. That's coming up at 8:30 this morning. When we come back, there is some big NFL stuff to talk about, including Kirk Cousins. I want out because they're going to draft the quarterback, but it's not what you think. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my attention. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Minnesota scored 33 in the second quarter alone. And it was, 61-35 at half. And it was over.
Watching that game last night reminded me of watching the Lobos.
In what respect?
Like the first year or two when Rich Pitino came in. You're like, they just feel small. Where's the size? Where's the length? When Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is supposed to be your defensive perimeter guy, and he's small against McDaniels and Edwards, that ain't working. Michael Porter Jr. doesn't have that in him. He's an offensive threat. Go off. He was really good against the Lakers. But when push comes to shove and you need an edge out of this team, they're not showing it. And that's incredibly disappointing. It's one thing to get beat. It's another thing to get bullied. And that's exactly what's happening to the Denver Nuggets. Now, I went through all the stages last night, right? The denial, the grief, the exception, all 12 steps last night.
Right.
But you look at it, too, for Denver, and they checked the boxes. Like, they brought back a title-winning starting five. They leaned into developing younger bench players, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown. They won 57 games. And they're just running into a team that is playing special basketball right now.
You said something to me yesterday, and it was towards the end of the show we did talk about it. And I remember it was kind of sticking in my head all day yesterday because I remember I looked at you. I said, really? And you're like, yeah. You said Michael Malone's on the hot seat, their head coach. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the guy they stuck with when they were losing, right? This was the guy that they didn't fire all those years. They went through the process, and I know it was the process, but it kind of was. And then they win a championship, and you're telling me if they get beat in the second round the year after they win, he's on the hot seat?
The Denver Nuggets are not going to fire Michael Malone. They're not that franchise. They went through that 3-year building process where there was no playoffs. There wasn't a team that you're like, oh, they're not living up to expectations. It clicked. I think that you take a step back. If I'm Michael Malone, I'm wondering, why is your best player not showing more?
And that's Jokic.
And that's Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. Why is your second best player not showing anything?
And Jamal Murray, it's one that, all right, you have the calf injury, but how does that lead to your entire team getting bullied by the Minnesota Timberwolves? So I do think that, there's some things I'm looking at Michael Malone, like you're just expecting something that you're not getting from these guys when it comes to the early energy and intensity. There's one thing to just take a step back and be like, yeah, Minnesota's better. But are they beat you by 30 points better at home in the postseason?
Maybe. And this is why I'm going to tell you this. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit. When Minnesota swept Phoenix, I remember coming in here the next morning and saying, look, Minnesota's better than Phoenix, but Phoenix should not get swept when you've got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal on the same team. They shouldn't get swept. And now I'm looking. Look, man, the defending champs may get swept. And by the way, they should not get swept. They shouldn't. They had the first 2 games at home. They got pantsed yesterday in their own building, and the other guys didn't have Rudy Gobert, one of their starters. Or is Minnesota that damn good?
Minnesota is playing better than anyone expected. Like, they are playing at a championship level. We thought it was going to be, hey, this is a team that could go to the Western Conference Finals, watch out Anthony Edwards. But they're playing at a level that I think they sweep the Nuggets. They're going to OKC, Dallas, have fun winning 2 games in that series. Like, they're unbelievable.
So you think they're the best team in the West, and they're getting through?
And I think it's a fair conversation.
You think they're going to sweep the Nuggets?
Yes.
Okay.
You watch
at
this
this
series.
point, why not? Why wouldn't I believe
Not just the Timberwolves. Look at what happened against the Lakers.
Yeah. No, they barely
all
got
those tight games.
I know.
And the game winners. And to think that now Jamal Murray potentially facing suspension for throwing something onto the floor. Reggie Jackson sprained his ankle. Tavis Caldwell-Pope's been playing on a bum leg. They can't generate any clean looks against Minnesota, and they're supposed to go to Minnesota and win a game.
Yep.
Like, that's how good the T-Wolves are playing right now. Now, if you're the Nuggets, you take a step back and say, all right, without overreacting, what do you do? Because you're going to bring back Murray, you're going to bring back Michael Porter Jr., you're going to bring back Nikola Jokic. But now you also have to have one of those thoughts of how do you maximize the next 2 to 3 years with Jokic being in the conversation as one of the 5 best players in the game. And I think Jamal Murray is trending towards the Jimmy Butler conversation. At some point in time, we got to talk about your availability. And I think if the Nuggets do anything to retool, Jamal Murray might be that piece they can move.
Interesting. All right, I want to hit this 505-246-0610. If you want to get in on the hoops, I'd love to hear your thoughts because, man, you might have thought Minnesota was better, and I'll listen to it. I got no problems with that. But I mean, that was. Give me the word. I mean, other than ass kicking, what was last night? Domination,
woodshed,
yeah,
beat down.
Embarrassment. And again, I said it earlier. There was a point where I looked at it. I'm like, they broke their spirit. And when I saw Jamal Murray in frustration throw a heating pad into live action on the court, like he literally, have you ever seen anything? Have you ever seen a player just sit on the bench so frustrated just he threw a towel, a heating pad, a something onto the court during live action? Have you seen that?
Usually a mouth guard.
Yeah, but that's usually a guy on the floor. No, you seen a guy throw something from the bench? All right.
But I'm saying it's usually like a mouth guard or something. Not necessarily an object like that.
I've never, and I do believe he should be suspended. I do. Now, I don't want to see him be suspended because I want to see them at their best, and they need him to be at their best in Game 3. But there's going to be a lot of noise today to suspend him, and I believe he should be. A guy throws a heating pad into live action on the floor. I mean, if somebody steps on that thing and gives out, and they blow out a knee, an ankle, a groin, or whatever, and they're out for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, how easy could that have happened? I'm sorry, dude. You just can't do that. You can't be that dude who basks in it and look at me and you hit the big shots, and then when things are going bad, you throw a heating pad. You just can't.
Jamal Murray
you can't.
It's one of those ones where he needs a rally check. He's also skipped out on media availability.
You can't.
The last 2 games. It's just such a bad look, man. You're getting beat up. You're hurt. You're playing bad basketball. But if you take ownership of it, it is better in the long run. The respect that you're going to get. And everyone just realizes that Minnesota is at a different level instead of being that guy.
All right, we'll get back. I'll give you the Kirk Cousins story. I know we teased that going into this, but this is interesting. Kirk Cousins wanted out because this team was going to draft a quarterback. So he went into a team that drafted a quarterback. How's he feel now? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
sports animal.
All right, we're going to get mini camps here soon, and NFL doesn't go away. You know that. Pretty soon you're going to have a fantasy football draft. JJ, you working on that already? The podcast is working for fantasy football stuff already?
Absolutely.
What's the podcast called?
I got 3 Dudes Fantasy Football Podcast.
Where's that? How do you find that?
We're on Spotify, YouTube channel. You can find us on Instagram.
Who are these 3 dudes?
It's me and my 2 best friends. And one of my friends, we played fantasy football together forever. And
are they any good at it?
It's pretty good. Yeah. One of us won a championship last year.
Which one?
Wasn't me. But it's, they're like, hey, JJ, you do this stuff. Would you like to help us try to get something going? I'm like, sure.
So catch JJ's podcast, 3 Dudes on Fantasy Football.
3 Dudes Fantasy Football Podcast.
And that's wherever you find it. One of the guys you're gonna be thinking about, I don't know, about mid-round, and you're gonna look for a quarterback, and Mahomes will be gone, and Lamar will be gone, and Joe Burrow will be gone, and you're waiting for a quarterback. Do you take Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins decided he's out because this team was going to draft a quarterback. Don't let the irony be lost. Kirk Cousins, evidently, per the report on Sports Illustrated, left Minnesota, JJ, because they planned to draft a quarterback. And they did. They drafted J.J. McCarthy. And they only had to move up 1 spot to 11. So he said, bleep it, I'm out. We're going home to my wife's place, and we're going to go to Atlanta, and they need a quarterback, and I'm the guy. I'm coming off of a Achilles. They offered me $180 million, $90 million guaranteed. I'm their guy. Do you recall what the Atlanta Falcons did in the first round of the NFL draft, JJ? They drafted a quarterback. The irony is not lost, right? The Falcons made the biggest splash in free agency, right, with Kirk Cousins. Then they made the biggest splash in the draft in the first round when they went out and draft Michael Penix Jr. And I think it's insane. Reportedly, he had no idea Falcons were going to take a quarterback at number 8. The words that are being used to describe him in the media were shocked and disappointed. That's NFL media. Cousins signed a 4-year deal, but it gets easier for Atlanta to get out of the deal in 2 years. And when they're going to want to turn the page, I don't know. But the irony is not lost. The reason this dude left Minnesota, where he had been pretty comfortable, was, well, they're going to draft my replacement. So I'm going to go somewhere where it's safe. And you know what? If they'd have drafted Michael Penix in the 2nd or even 3rd round or found a dude, I think you feel safe. But the fact that they used number 8 overall, there's nothing to feel safe about, dude. Now, this is 20 years ago, you draft a quarterback, you sit him for 2 years. This is the ideal model 20 years ago, was it not?
Yes.
I draft a quarterback, he's young, I'm going to sit him behind a veteran, he's going to learn, and then he takes over. But in 2024, where you need instant results, where you think you're a contender and you could have got a receiver, an edge rusher, or a left tackle, a lot of things. And look, they got weapons now. I'm not telling you that they're leaving Kirk Cousins out there naked with nobody to throw to. He's got guys. I think Drake London finally is going to become one of those great receivers. I really do, because he's got someone that's going to throw him the football. Let's see what Kyle Pitts does. He's got Darnell Mooney, who comes over from the Bears. Rondell Moore are okay, but they could have used another stud receiver. They could have used an edge rusher.
Rome Odunze.
I mean, he was sitting right there. He went next. Yeah, he went next.
So this is one of those moves you can talk yourselves in circles about, of
100%.
understanding that, hey, if Penix hits, what are we complaining about? You have a quarterback for who knows how long. And also, if Kirk Cousins wins a bunch of football games, guess what? You're still going to get one more opportunity. And so I'm kind of tired of hearing Kirk Cousins complain about things, or sources saying he's complaining about things. Because he got $90 million guaranteed out of the Atlanta Falcons coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him until I hear him. Honestly, I want to hear it from him. Then I hear reports. Kirk Cousins kind of gets the benefit of the doubt because I think he's handled himself pretty well in the media with almost every situation.
This is his career.
Yeah.
People have bet against him.
Yeah.
And yet you look down, and the dude has secured almost $200 million.
So
what more do you want?
Do you remember where?
Go win a playoff game.
Do you remember, right? Do you remember where and the situation into which he was drafted?
4th round after they took RG3, but 2nd overall.
And then he beat out RG3. RG3
knee blew up.
Well, his knee blew up, but then he came back. Right? Everybody has injuries. What's the difference between his knee blowing up and everybody else's knee blowing up, and an Achilles injury? I mean, yeah, his knee blew up. Was he 3rd or 4th round, whatever he was? They took him, and I remember that draft too. Robert Griffin III was 1st or 2nd pick in the draft.
Yeah, I think it was 2nd pick.
Okay,
Heisman Trophy winner.
I mean, he was it, man. He
Track
was
star,
all about it, and he was going to change the franchise. And then the 3rd or 4th round, they pick another quarterback out of Michigan State, and everybody was like, "What the hell?" Honestly, that might have been before this. Number 8, taking Michael Penix, the biggest surprise quarterback pick in the draft.
Even at that point, it flew so far under the radar. It's like, okay,
yeah, but why? But you got a 3rd round pick. You can still get an impact player here, and you took a quarterback. Like, what are you doing? And it ended up he was the guy. And to your point, he's made over $200 million. So now he goes here. I think he is going to be their guy this year. And honestly, I think they're going to be a playoff team this year, and they're going to be fine. Or at least battling for a playoff team. I mean, damn, dude.
Dude, Kirk Cousins.
Are they the best team in the South? Carolina's bad. New Orleans,
to me, it's still
Tampa
going to be. I think it's New Orleans, Tampa, and Atlanta coming down to those final couple weeks.
Somebody's going to be 9-8
win teams. Yeah. Right there. I still have that feeling.
I think that's right.
Just because if Kirk Cousins is playing well, he should elevate that team. But, in reality, Kirk Cousins, even with the numbers he's put up, to me, that doesn't really put him that far ahead of Derek Carr and, Baker Mayfield.
Now let's see how he plays too. He's coming off
feel
of
like the same guy.
Yeah,
right now.
I agree with you. Like, who's the best quarterback in that division? It's easy to say Kirk Cousins, but is it coming off an Achilles at 36 years old? You have no idea. Derek Carr, is he going to have a resurgent year? Baker was good last year. You can say everything you want about Baker Mayfield. Baker was good last year. Baker earned himself a contract and a job. Give me your way too early. Stare at the NFC. Mm-hmm. Who are your 7 playoff teams in the NFC right now?
7 playoff teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Detroit, Green Bay, San Francisco, Dallas Cowboys,
you got to pick someone out of the South.
Yeah. I will go Falcons.
Yeah.
And Rams.
All right. We're close. I don't have Phil. I got Dallas, the Lions, Green Bay, Atlanta, San Francisco, the Rams. Arizona's my sneak up team. Because there's a team every year that comes out of nowhere. I look what they did, dude. They weren't far off. They loaded up in the draft. If Kyler Murray's healthy, they got him a receiver. I think they can run the ball. They went out, got an edge. I'm kind of riding Arizona a little bit.
So was it? What team did you say?
I kept out Philadelphia.
With Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
And Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
And Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, them or Dallas.
And the top 2 cornerbacks in the draft.
One or the other. All right, then fine. Then Dallas.
I'll send Dallas home.
All right, then I'll take Philadelphia instead of Dallas. All right, you convinced me. I'll do that. Fine.
Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore.
Who did Arizona take with their second first round pick? Do you remember who it was? They had like Marvin Harrison Jr. and then they went down the list. It was anyway, I'm kind of into them a little bit. All right, we're going to talk some football when we get back. Eric Quill's going to be with us. He is the head coach, technical director of New Mexico United. They are in for a big week. They are home tomorrow, U.S. Open Cup. They get a MLS team in their place. First time ever that has happened here. We're going to talk with Eric Quill next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM at 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Now, I think a lot of people were first introduced to New Mexico United when they made their run to the quarterfinal of U.S. Open Cup in their inaugural year, beat an MLS team in Minnesota, and played another one in Dallas. And the talk was funny at that point. They were a first-year club, and well, we should go up to MLS and we can handle all that. And I tell you, still to this day, I think it was the best thing that ever happened to that club. I think that the momentum is carried on all these years. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We'll get back to your calls in a little bit. Tomorrow night out at the ball pitch, it's a great opportunity. Real Salt Lake will be in town for the round of 32 of the U.S. Open Cup to play United, and it is the first time United has hosted in Albuquerque a MLS team and a chance to move on in the U.S. Open Cup, and just a great opportunity to play a team. And not only is Real Salt Lake an MLS team, they are the team who's in first place in the Western Conference table in MLS. They've won 4 of their last 6, 4-0-2 with 2 draws. Meanwhile, United's rolling. They're 5-2-1 in their first 8 games. 6 of those 8 have been on the road. They are in second place in USL West. Their head coach is Eric Quill. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Eric. How you living?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're good. Thank you. Great opportunity tomorrow. First off, congratulations on a terrific start. 6 of 8 on the road. You've been running the gauntlet and playing really well. Went back east a couple of times and were able to shake off tough losses there and come back and get a big win in Vegas this weekend. And the team's really playing well.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've been really proud of the bounce back factor from the 2 losses we had. You know, that says a lot about the group and the resiliency. And the amount of travel we've done is pretty unordinary. So, you know, to get through this first, we knew this was going to be the toughest stretch looking at the schedule beforehand. And we had goals as to how we wanted to get through this part of the schedule, and we reached them. And, you know, we want to be on obviously the top. But now, you know, at least we get some home games, get in front of our fans again, and breathe some new life into the group.
Yeah, big week. You get the Open Cup tomorrow. Then you'll be home Saturday against Oakland Roots, back into USL play. The Cup is interesting. Explain to people who don't know. So you step out of league play, and what is the Cup, and what does it mean to you and to this club to be able to host an MLS team in your place in the U.S. Open Cup?
Yeah, I mean, the Cup's been around. Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup's been around for years, and it's such a great tournament that opens its doors to amateur teams and all levels of professionals. And it's a knockout phase. It's a different format than obviously regular season play. So there's a different adrenaline rush and a different preparation factor. It's win or go home, and which that creates, I think, excitement for fans to know that, you know, moving on is an achievement. And now we're in round of 32, and we get to host an MLS club, which is, you know, this club's a great club that's doing really well this year. Great coach in Pablo Mastroianni, and it's going to be a great test for our guys, and that's what we want, the measuring stick, and, you know, see where we are compared to them, and go for it. We don't, you know, we're not going to be sitting here. I've always said to the guys, we respect everybody but fear no one, and that's the case tomorrow night. We hope to be on our front foot, and but this Cup is just, there's just so much joy and excitement with this that I'm glad I should be around for the long haul. You look at the FA Cup in England, it's just a really supported event, and it just allows a coming together of all of the game of soccer, to be honest, like at all levels of soccer. And I think there's no better format than this cup in U.S.
United head coach Eric Quill with us, and you mentioned the FA Cup and what the U.S. Open Up has become, but MLS, the growth, they've maybe even overexpanded themselves with some of the other competitions that they're in, and some of the MLS teams might be trying to pull themselves out. How important is it to keep this competition together just for soccer in the United States for all levels?
Yeah, I mean, continuity is, at the end of the day, we compete against each other, but the continuity of the game of soccer in this country is important. And, this tournament needs to be played in by every level. I think we see the excitement with it, we see the support of it, and MLS. Look, they have added competitions, but they haven't changed their roster sizes. So they're at, it's a balance of, if you're going to add those, you probably need to increase roster size to keep healthy guys longer. But anyway, it's this tournament and the U.S. Open Cup should be at the forefront of what U.S. soccer is all about. And I think it will be. I just think there needs to be sort of a joining and maybe some concessions on the sides of everyone, and make sure that it's everybody's bought into the what this cup's all about.
So when you look at when you took over New Mexico United last season, you start as a coach, laying your foundation for what you want from your team, and especially when you add players. So what were you looking to do when you took over United last year, and then what were you able to do this offseason that allowed you to get off to such a good start?
Yeah, I mean, it's two different. Last year coming in, obviously when I came in, it was really trying to look at what I had in the roster and how I could create a winning side, and so it took a little bit of a short-term phase to figure out the profiles of the guys on the roster, and then we adopted a style of play that fit that roster, and we made a run at the end and got in the playoffs. And we're playing exceptionally well. And then obviously in this off season, the thought behind the roster was versatility, being able to play in different ways to hurt the opponent, and not being a one-trick pony. So we built a roster that could play in transition with the best of them and can dominate the ball with the best of them. And so I think it keeps teams guessing as to who we are. And when teams are guessing, they don't really know how to game plan. And we have, it's a collection of guys that there's no one guy that's carrying the team with goal scoring. We have like 9 or 10 different goal scorers. So we're hard to game plan for because we can hurt you with different guys each week. And it's a team of just a young squad. So there's a little bit inexperience there, and they're gaining that week to week. But they're grasping our concepts. We want to be entertaining. We want to play quick. We want to put points on the board. And obviously not concede, but we want our fans to love coming to games, feel like they're entertained, and want to come back. I mean, that's the goal and what we're trying to achieve here. And we want to win a championship.
Eric Quill is New Mexico United's head coach, technical director, with us on These Sports Animal. All right, what do you expect tomorrow night? From them, what do they play everyone? How do they approach this game? And for you, you're in between league matches. You got Oakland on Saturday out at your place. Roster-wise, lineup-wise, what do you anticipate?
Yeah, it's hard to get in the minds of another organization. There's different MLS teams go about it in different ways. Some of them look at this tournament and give opportunity to young players, which isn't a bad thing. And then some, go for it with their veterans and try to, get out on their front foot and dominate the lesser leagues. So, look, I think there's certain guys, Chicho Arango for, Salt Lake. I'm not sure if he would play in this because of the nature of the game, and he's an important piece of their puzzle and to keep him healthy. But you never know. I think he may be on the bench ready for minutes to come in if needed to be called upon. But regardless of this, they're going to have a strong side. They're so deep in their roster, and they've got a great second team that's got up and comers. So it's hard to guess what the route they're going to go. But for us, I mean, that's another reason why this roster was built the way it was built, is we got 22 starters. So it really doesn't matter. We're going to try to, put our best team on the field. And we've got guys that we can turn to off the bench that can come in and raise the level of the game, and that's what I've been most proud of this year is our ability to change the game with substitutions. And all of our substitutions this year have had enormous impact to win games for us. And so I think the versatility of our roster is ready, and we're excited for the opportunity.
Eric, I always wondered about in-season tournaments mindsets, right? I got to believe the main goal of the club is to win a USL championship. But here's another opportunity, and it's in-season. How do you prioritize, or do you? Is it just another game, and we go one game at a time? Our priority is to win the one in front of us. But it's an in-season tournament. It's a totally different feel, and obviously the opportunity and what it can mean for the club and what it means in the community. I think your basic fan says, holy smokes, we just beat an MLS team. That means so much more to them than beating Oakland Roots or San Antonio FC or something like that, even though it might mean more to the club, or maybe not. I'm not sure. What's the mindset for in-season tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, we have lofty goals here. Call them naive if you want, but we want to win this cup. I mean, we feel like we have the ability to do so. We're talented, and we can beat anybody at any given day. So, we want to win, to the double. I mean, win the U.S. Open Cup and win the league. And that's what our goals are. That's what we're setting our sights to. That's what we're committed to every day on the training field. And these guys they believe it and they want it, and that's all you can ask for. And I think, winning is everything in professional sports. And the more you show consistency in that, the fans appreciate that, and they're excited by it. They want to come invest in it, and they want to be a part of it. So that's the whole goal, is to keep building the brand with our style of play and our successes. And the state of New Mexico, we want them to be proud. We want to be proud of this product and feel like the badge is something that they want to support, and they just look forward to that's the one thing they look forward to on the weekend or on a midweek game is this opportunity to come together with others and celebrate their team. And that's all we can ask for.
Now, Eric, you mentioned the fans multiple times in New United. They've shown a great passion for the club, but as someone that's played and coached all over the place, what is it like, going to a United game, and when you hear about it versus experiencing it with, what it is with the rest of the USL Championship? What is that environment like?
It's the energy they bring is like nothing else. It's there's a loyalty, there's an energy, there's a sound that just it sends chills through you. And as a player, I mean, I can only imagine the adrenaline rush these players get from seeing this crowd, and they're up off their seats. They're not just sitting there quiet. That's the thing is our fans are, the energy they bring and the passion is of the highest level. And I love walking out of that tunnel. I love, that first chance on goal or the first goal and just seeing the eruption. And then what that sounds like from that time we score. They don't just sit down again. There's an ongoing support throughout the game that just uplifts this team. And it's so valuable. It's valuable when you think about the points you need to be successful to get host playoff games. So that's why we want to reward our fans at home, making sure we're taking 3 points and we're giving ourselves the best chance to see them in a playoff format. And we want to be home. The percentages lie in your favor when you host playoff games, and that's the goal. But our fans are second to none. There's nothing I love more than waking up on a game day and thinking about what's about to happen in the evening.
Game day tomorrow. How do you get tickets? I'm on your website right now. I'm clicking on the tickets for that game, and it's not going through like the other games are. Is there another way to get tickets for tomorrow night?
Oh man, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah,
but
probably.
do whatever means necessary. They're out there. They're you can get them. I promise you that.
No, I know they're out there.
Don't give up.
Yeah. You can call United as well, but find your tickets, and I know all the information is New Mexico UTD.com. Hey, Eric, appreciate the conversation. Always do. Congratulations on what's been a great start. Good luck tomorrow, the rest of the year. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Be well. He's Eric Quill, the head coach, technical director of United. Dude, they're off to a terrific start. They're 2 losses. They went back east. They went to Charleston and Tampa Bay, and got handled on those 2 matches. But they came back out and they're undefeated against the Western Conference. They're second place in the table in the Western Conference, and they got a big one a great opportunity. JJ, do you think I'm wrong? I think they win tomorrow, no matter what they do against Oakland and San Antonio. The next 2. People are buzzing in this town because they beat an MLS team.
it's the still, kind of big brother, little brother mentality. MLS versus USL Championship. And you're right, that the run they went on when they beat FC Dallas, they beat the Colorado Rapids, and then they got
beat by Minnesota. That's
beat
what
by
it was.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that.
It was incredible.
It's been 5 years.
Filled up an airplane to go to Minnesota, man.
Yeah, so they beat Dallas, Colorado. So they beat two MLS teams, and then lost to Minnesota. Yeah, no, I forgot the progression. All right, 505-246-0610. You can get in on that. Kenny Thomas due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs with the former Lobo great. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I think shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
All right, no baseball today for Lobos. Lobos and Aggies were supposed to play today. They called it off, JJ, because they anticipated high winds. So there were 7 games left on the schedule for UNM, and now there'll be only 6. Aggies are not coming up. Whatever the reason. It was kind of weird when I saw that yesterday. Did you see that? It was with a guy whose kid plays at La Cueva. Like, we played that. I mean, we always played that. I was surprised they called it off for high winds. I guess it's going to be pretty gnarly today, but no Lobo baseball today against the Aggies. If you want to get in on what Eric Quill had to say, is this something that fires you up? So if you're a peripheral fan, or even for those of you who are hardcore fans of United, you got an MLS team coming in tomorrow. Does it fire you up? And when I asked him, JJ, who who do you expect Salt Lake to play? He said, I don't really know. MLS teams sometimes don't. You just don't know how they're going to handle this. What do you expect to see out of their roster? Because, I mean, they can't just play the whole JV, right? The MLS team's going to have to play some of their frontline guys.
Probably a mix.
Yeah.
Like your best players, if you're also like probably not playing this game, probably not starting. So,
yeah. And for United, I got to believe. Look at Kenny Thomas wearing his United stuff. Look at front runner walks in. It's like, big game tomorrow. It's a big U.S. Open Cup game. That's good that Kenny's here. It'll be fun if you're into it. I'm just kind of curious, man. Does it make you more want to go to that game? 505-246-0610. When we come back, we'll kick it with Kenny, the former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran, is in studio. Talk to him about how do you make that call in that Knicks-Pacers game last night? And how do you not review the kick? It's the opening drive. Kicking it with Kenny next. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Still your show.
It's
You kidding
but
me?
it's your segment.
Because of you.
I mean, it's
And
JJ.
JJ.
It's JJ's show.
I appreciate you both, man.
It's the opening drive. Jeff Simieta, JJ Buck. It is Kicking It with Kenny, former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran, and so much more. Kenny Thomas is with us. Look at you, United, like big open cup, like you jumping on. That's good. We just had their head coach on.
Yeah, last year was the first year he came in, obviously, and I think he had a pretty good season. The fact that the cup opportunity is going to be here tomorrow night, obviously I'm going. And then it's a back.
Obviously.
And then it's a back-to-back game.
Yeah,
Not
they got
back-to-back.
Oakland Roots
but
on Saturday.
Yep, and it's Meow Wolf night, so it's going to be a good night.
All right, dude. I don't know where to start. So I'm going to start with the first game and ease off on JJ for a minute on the Nuggets. The Knicks Pacers last night was really good, and I thought the Pacers outplayed them for 46 minutes. Knicks come back, great comeback. I don't want to take anything away from the Knicks. Okay, why you can't review? They call a kick ball that would have been a turnover for the Pacers, not even close to his foot. But for some reason, I can review your foot's on the line. I can review a foul. I can review everything, but except for that is garbage. And what'd you think of the Miles Turner offensive screen at that point in the game?
Well,
or the illegal screen.
Yeah, the screen obviously was a crucial point, right? It was huge, but I don't think it was one of those calls to where it should have been made, especially coming 100%. Down to the end of the game.
Do you think it was a foul? The fact that you have to think about it makes me say no.
No, it's not. I don't think it was because this is the playoffs, right?
Right.
And it's more of a physical aspect to the game than it is the regular season, even though the regular season is very physical in its own right. But you got to understand, like, that referee or that crew probably should have let something like that go. And that's kind of been the typical situation in these playoffs as of late. But the way that the Knicks came out and played and fought back, I totally thought that this was going to be a great series. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, I got to ask you this, because all the credit in the world to the Knicks for coming back, I give them. I firmly believe that referees, being human, get caught up in the crowd sometimes. The place was going nuts. You've played at Madison Square Garden. That's as passionate a fan base as there is. It's been 2 decades plus for them to get to where they want. To me, that's a call where referee got caught up in the moment.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's a tough situation for any individual, right? Imagine being like Rick Brunson and having the ball.
Jalen
Brunson. I
Yeah,
played with
you
his dad.
always go
Rick.
daddies on this. I know.
Dad.
You're getting old.
Dad was the man. Oh, come on.
Well,
Calm
you're
down.
always telling me about the daddies.
Calling me old.
I said, get. I'm not. You're not old yet. I'm there. You're on your way. I see a little gray in the beard.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Come on. I mean, am I wrong? But when you're telling me about Eddie House and Rick Brunson instead of Jalen, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, Bronson for the Knicks because his dad's retired. How about that? I'll just start saying that. But he's a beast, man. It's his. He's up there with Jordan and I think somebody else as far as like 40-point games for the Knicks. And the way that his passion is there, and the way that he's playing with a lot of excitement, and obviously having the ball in your hands and being the man, it's obviously comes with a lot of comfort. But I believe this Pacers series and Knicks series is going to go 7 games. I thought it was going to be an exciting series.
And what stands out about the Knicks is they've taken advantage of everything. Like, if you give them anything, they're going to make that big shot. Now, they had the games go both ways. You know, the Sixers blew a game late, then they blew one. But just the confidence, not just Jalen Brunson, too, but Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart to hit big-time shots in clutch moments. Usually you see that maybe 1 or 2 times. They've done that already the entire postseason.
When it comes to guys like Dante, like, he played for the Warriors, right? I think he really found out who he was to be able to go to the Warriors and play a little bit more freely. I felt like he was a great add to the Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks beat up on my Sixers. The GM for the Sixers said he's about to blow everything up. Tobias Harris, all those guys to a certain extent, except for the big 3 that's there. But I'm excited to see how the Pacers bounce back from this loss, because I feel like they're going to come back and play an even better game. And you got to keep in mind, Tyrese Halliburton only had 6 points. He did not play a good game. So you got to expect him to come out and play way better in the next game.
Let's mention the Sixers. Let's get to them real quick. Daryl Morey, their team president, said it's Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And then everyone else might be looking for new jobs next season. What do you think they do? And also, what do you think of them being okay with Joel Embiid going to the Olympics, especially with everything he's been dealing with that knee?
Well, him going to – I don't see him playing a lot of minutes. It's going to be interesting to see how he does. And playing the summer, he's going to have to change and come right back and get ready for even the season. I don't see that happening with him. But as far as the Sixers are concerned, you got 3 big guys that are like free agents. And I feel like the GM, he has to make certain comments because of the way that they lost in the first round. And I feel like Tobias Harris and a few other those guys are probably going to get shipped out because Tobias Harris had 0 points and he made $35 million last year. That's insane.
Speaking of front office talking, what do you think of the way Pat Riley talked about Jimmy Butler, that he should keep the way he said it too, keep his mouth shut?
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you think of that?
I saw that's Pat Riley.
That's right.
I bet you Jimmy's going to shut up.
I bet he is. He wants his $113 million, doesn't he?
It's still coming anyway. It's guaranteed.
No. They got to re-up him for 2 years for $113 million. He wants to get re-upped, or he can go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He just needs to calm down.
Well,
Pat,
or he should keep his mouth shut.
And Pat Riley has totally taken care of him, so he better keep it shut.
And don't you think? I mentioned this earlier. Kenny Thomas is here, kicking it with Kenny. If Pat Riley, now maybe some other front office guys would be different. If Pat Riley said that in the media yesterday, don't you think he addressed it with Jimmy Butler before?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I firmly do too. Other guys might not have.
No.
But I think Pat Riley, before he blew him up in the media, called him, sat him down, whatever he did, and had that conversation with him.
Without a doubt. That's old school.
Yeah.
And it goes back to when I kind of played, to where Pat Riley and those veteran coaches, as far as like Paul Westphal, the late Paul Westphal, or
any of those dudes.
Yeah, any of those guys.
Phil Jackson would
totally, to a certain extent, right? Yeah. But Pat Riley's that succession to where he's a guy that's come out and he's been very successful and he's creating a dynasty that's around himself and
done past tense
and still
and still
and that Miami front office, because my guy's over there, he's the head equipment guy over there. He was over at Sacramento.
Is that where you get all your United gear?
No. Hey, I actually paid for this, even though
I know you did.
Yeah, even though
I know you did. Hey, he doesn't get off the hook now.
You should keep your mouth shut.
I knew this was coming.
It's so good.
I knew JJ was going to be mad today.
Well, look, they got pants. Denver Nuggets got pantsed in their building by Minnesota.
They got pounced on.
Pounded, pantsed, embarrassed, beat up. And I thought at one point they broke their will. When you got a dude, I've never seen a guy throw a heating pad on the floor, frustration, throw it in the. I mean, like, I thought their spirit got broken. They're the defending champs. I asked JJ this earlier, and you and I had this conversation last week. Phoenix, I felt, with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, you want to tell me Minnesota's better, I'll believe it, but they shouldn't get swept.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, this team may get swept. Yeah. Is Minnesota that damn good?
Yeah, they are. The statement was made when they came out and did what they did to Phoenix. I didn't expect that to happen, even though I thought Phoenix was going to win that series because I believe in KD.
Yeah.
And the way that Mike Conley and the Ant-Man, the way that they're playing at such a high level, you got to give the big fellas on the inside, Towns and Gobert.
And he went even there yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been killed because he goes to Minnesota for an unbelievable contract.
And they gave up 4 first-round picks for him.
Yep, and everybody's like, what are you doing, Minnesota? It makes sense, right? Obviously, they can look back and say that. But the way that they're playing at such a on such a high level, and you got Stephen A. Smith and all those guys saying, hey, Minnesota's going to come out of the West. Nobody thought that, but it's looking that way.
Aren't they? You think
you got to let your eyes tell you the story. and watching Minnesota, no one plays defense like them. Dude, they pick up dudes full court, and they don't stop. They're absolutely frustrating the Denver Nuggets. I think if you want to say, if you still believe, Boston overall record, talent's the best team, Minnesota's right there. Like, those are the two teams that should be playing in the NBA Finals.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Give me two young stars. Give me Anthony Edwards versus Jason Tatum. By the way,
biggest
everything that Boston
in this series is Karl Anthony Towns looks like a different dude. Like, he is playing like the second best player on the floor.
Is he fresh? I mean, he sat out with the injury and missed about 25 games or something and came back in the last 10. Maybe he's fresher and he got healthy. Maybe there's something to that because the Nuggets are not healthy. I mean, you talk about Caldwell Pope's hurt, Porter's hurt,
Murray's
has
hurt.
a
Calf. Reggie Jackson just sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
So you could be going to Minnesota with Murray potentially looking at a suspension, however the NBA wants to deal with that.
They're not going to suspend him.
Why not?
They're not going to.
Why?
No.
I think there's going to be
it's
so
gonna
much
be a
noise.
huge fine. He's not getting suspended.
Let me tell you this, and I want them to be full strength. So I hope he doesn't, but he should be.
Yeah,
he should be. Dude, you can't throw a heating pad in something in the middle of the floor while action. Like Karl Anthony Towns was inches away from stepping on that thing. I mean, what if dude slides, blows out his groin or his knee?
I totally
on
agree.
That's crap, dude. You cannot do that.
I agree, but he's not going to get suspended.
How, you got to be better than that, don't
Postseason,
you? Have you seen a dude throw something on the floor like that in the middle of a game out of frustration from the bench?
I think I have seen that.
Who? What?
I don't remember who, but think about it. There was a lot of ironic guys in the NBA back then. I'm not saying you can, but he's not going to get suspended.
All right.
He's going to get a huge fine, and the man already makes a crap load of money.
Yeah,
Is it really going to matter?
I mean, I make $51 million. You're going to fine me $100,000?
Yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, here's a couple bucks.
That's why there's a players association or union.
All right, when we come back, I want to get into Jalen House's opportunity with the G League camp invite and what that might mean. Get into he might join JT Toppin in the combine, and Kenny's about ready with in conjunction with a company called NILF. NILF? How do you say it?
NILF.
I was close.
NEOLTH.
It's a hard word for me. NILF.
Yeah.
To launch an app for mental health, which I think is really cool. So it's exciting stuff, and we're going to talk about that. That's next. Kicking it with Kenny. Stay here. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports House.
Travis.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Tonight in the National Basketball Association. You can watch that tonight. You get Cleveland and Boston, game 1, 5 o'clock. Dallas, Oklahoma City. Remember Oklahoma City? It feels like we haven't seen them in about a month.
It's been a while.
It feels like Cleveland and Boston. I think everybody feels Boston. Dallas, OKC. What do you think?
Well, obviously, yeah, we're going to go with Boston. Boston's playing great. Could there be an upset? Yes. I'll throw it out there,
Yeah,
but you're
fine.
looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
but
if Spider goes nuts, the other Spider, not Spider.
yeah, I don't think that Cleveland can really score with them. That's going to be the downfall. And Cleveland's defense, it's a little ant. But Oklahoma, that's going to be an interesting series because I think that can go either way when it comes to experience and veterans a little bit. I'm leaning towards Dallas, but I feel like the Thunder could come in there and put on a good show. And maybe upset.
SGA, baby. We're watching new stars emerge. We're watching Anthony Edwards, the world. You know about him. JJ knows about him. I don't know if Catherine does, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a guy that in this series comes to the nation's consciousness.
Yeah, because he's already put himself on that platform, being an all-star.
Yeah.
And it's only like his second or third year, and he's already making a statement. So you got to expect him to keep on carrying out like an Anthony Edwards is, because those couple guys are the future of the NBA.
All right, Jalen House got an opportunity. He got invited to the G League Elite. What was it, JJ? The G League Elite Camp. It's a 2-day camp, and it features draft eligible players. So they go through all this stuff, and then some of them will get invited to the NBA Combine. All he wants an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for this young man.
Yeah, it obviously it is, because going to a platform like that and getting an opportunity is showing the value that the G League sees that he can bring to the table. Getting in the G League is only the first step to more opportunities, because everybody in the NBA is paying attention, and you might get an opportunity based off of you playing well and getting in and getting on a team and taking it from there. So I'm happy for him. Great opportunity.
Can he play
Let's
in
see
the
what
NBA?
happens. Yes.
I think so too.
Yes. Yes, he can.
It's the comment, Jose Alvarado.
Yes, that's exactly who I was thinking of too. And
That's where everybody goes on that, huh?
Yep.
Look, there's been smaller dudes than him in the NBA that didn't play nearly the defense. Now, can he play the defense on an NBA guard? Right? I mean, you played the Spud Webbs of the world, and I get it. They were different cats. The way he distributes his energy and the way his motor, I think there's a spot for him.
There is, and you got to think about a guy like Muggsy Bogues, right? Like guys like that
He lasted
came and made
years.
a difference. Yes, he did, and he played over 10 years, if I believe I'm correct. But the energy that House brings to the table is going to be huge. I think it's a step at a time to where he's going to be able to grow and build more of an identity to what he does. I feel like he can score on the offensive end, but him making an impact and trying to figure out how to get on the floor, it's going to start with defense, and then it'll transition over to the offensive side.
Got anything on that?
I'm just excited to see Jalen House and then what JT Toppin is able to do at the NBA draft combine.
Yeah, that combine is going to be interesting. The fact that JT is in there exploring options, it's good for him, because if he didn't, I would not actually agree with that. But good for him. It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes for him.
All right, you got some really exciting stuff.
Yes.
Catherine Grill, PhD, is in the house. So my daughter thinks I got a PhD. Papa, she thinks Papa has dough. It's a whole wrong PhD. Catherine, it's good to see you.
I like
thanks.
that one.
You going to use that? Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, well, thanks so much for having me.
Catherine is the CEO and co-founder of NILF, right? Is that
Neil? Yeah.
Say it.
Neo.
She's taught me, man. I've been on the phone calls with her. Hey, it takes a minute.
NEOLTH. And what you guys are doing, you guys have partnered, Kenny and Catherine and Neil, on a mental health app. And I know you've been working with the city, with the county, and doing great things. And when does it launch? What are we working on? Talk about what you're doing with Kenny a little bit.
Yeah, well, the app is launched. It's live on the App Store, neolth.com, so
I
you
can
can
just
go
go get it
check
right
it
now?
out.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because we co-developed it with kids, with high school and college kids, to meet their specific needs. And some of the stuff we're doing with Kenny, I mean, we were just speaking at an APS event last night. We're going to be launching some mental health basketball events, launching in some of the charter schools here. So really just finding a way to meet these kids where they are for their mental health needs.
So when you say meet these kids where they are, what does that mean? Because you hear every day you're hearing a story. I watched ESPN did a story yesterday. JJ, I don't know if you saw it. Blake Anderson, the head football coach at Utah State, who we both know, who just a great dude who got a call one day. His son was 21 years old and was down in Texas and took his own life. And he's just beating himself up, as we all would as a parent. You know, why didn't I do more? How are you reaching kids before it gets to a blow?
Yeah, do you know the average onset time between symptom onset and actually getting treatment is 11 years. That's way too long for somebody to be suffering. And what we see, especially with young kids, is when they start to struggle, they're going to their phone. They're searching, they're Googling, they're going on TikTok.
Good.
Right? So it's like that's the first entry point to care. They're not walking into my office. They're going on their phone. And if we can meet them and give them information and then direct them to resources in the community, we can shorten that 11 years significantly.
So what you're partnering with Kenny, and Kenny, why is this something that's important to you?
It's huge because I've struggled with the mental health aspect of things when things are not going right, and you have to be able to fall back on certain things, and being able to have resources that are capable to be able to be great tools. I didn't have that when I was growing up.
Right. None of us did.
Right? And now being 46, and I'm still not comfortable to a certain extent, but going out and being able to talk to the community and partnering up with the county is huge, because being able to come out and have people that do look up to me, being able to express my journey, because I have family members that deal with substance abuse, and there's always a way out, and being comfortable being not comfortable is okay, but being able to have something to help you on your own is huge.
I think the component too of the phone is so big, because I think people are still scared to talk about it, scared to reach out for help, because, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? So having that component to where you can go through your phone, maybe that's the first step you need, not to, directly have, physical one-on-one or voice contact with someone, but then open that door and to get you the help you need.
Are you finding that?
Absolutely. It's a stepping stone to clinical care. I mean, as doctors, we need to shift our mentality, because we just assume people and kids are going to raise their hand. Hey, I'm struggling. Now I'm going to find this doctor. I'm going to go into their office. There's a lot of fear there.
I think the other thing is, as parents, we all say, I'm here for you. I'm here. If your kid comes to you, do you know what to do? Like I think that a lot. In I've got a almost 18-year-old, and you've got kids. Every week. What do you do? I'm here for you, but then do you know what to do? Maybe this is an opportunity. So how are you letting kids know? And if someone's listening, they want to take a look at this. How is this accessible, and what are you doing with the county and the city now?
Well, we're mental health ambassadors with the county.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
So basically, the APS and the county event that we were just at yesterday, I did a keynote speaking Q&A with Catherine. It's the first event of many with the county. The county's using me as a resource to go out and talk about substance abuse, mental health, different things in the community. When it comes to the app, we're still working through the process on the different government entities to where hopefully we get an opportunity to be able to get in. I mainly just wanted to bring up the aspect of what we're doing because she's here in town, have some meetings. But this is Mental Health Month. And me being an advocate for mental health, I feel like it's a huge opportunity for me to use your platform, Jeff, to be able to bring awareness to where this is just not for children, it's for adults as well. So you parents out there, this is a great tool to where it's it's a great resource to help you cope in your own way, specifically for you as an individual. But yeah.
All right. So the app is NEOLTH. It's free to download. I just did it. And then to use it, I haven't gone through it yet. It looks pretty easy. And so this is, somebody's just going, all right, I'm struggling. I need a little help. What do I do with it?
So you got a couple things. You have skills to use anytime, anywhere. Like Kenny was saying, breathing, meditation, journaling practices. And then there's also a lot of videos and blogs from doctors and experts explaining different things in mental health, and from the kids themselves. So you're talking about parents, how do I talk to my kids about this? You can go on there and see real kids talking about what they're struggling with and learn how to really have those conversations with your kids.
This is really cool, man. I'm proud of you. I've told you that a number of times. I've known Kenny since he was 19 years old, right?
Fat boy, 19.
A little thick. I wouldn't say fat.
Fat boy.
And I've watched him grow up, and he do some great things. And this is something that makes a difference. And Catherine, what you're doing, just looking at there, obviously it's making a difference. So thank you for sharing this. NEOLTH, that's the app, and it's there for kids, and you're going to hear Kenny out there spreading this message on mental health and mental health awareness, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so you're doing cool things.
Man, I appreciate you.
No, it's good. It's good to see you. Thanks for making the trip out from beautiful Woodland Hills. That's where I went to high school. Yeah. Hey, by the way, JJ loves this stuff. She's right down the street from Old Taft High. Like, Taft's on Ventura and Winnetka. She's at Ventura and Topanga. Yeah. he loves here in L.A. You take the 101. So if you take the 405 to the 101, and then you go out and get off. You down with that?
Yeah, bro.
All right. Bro.
He said, yeah, bro. Thank you, JJ. See you guys
Good
on
to
Friday,
see you.
bro.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Travis Kelce.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Asking shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets.
I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one.
He had that season-ending wrist injury midway through the season. They say he's recovered well. This is their new quarterbacks coach. His name is Brad Cragthorpe. Quote, I think he looked as quick and as athletic as I've seen him look. He looked like Joe Burrow we're used to seeing. I didn't see any difference. I thought the ball came out of his hand well. Confidently, I'm happy where he's at. The fact that this was a wrist injury and not a leg injury, any sort of Achilles, knee, ankle, any of that, to make you feel better? I know it was his throwing wrist, but it feels like that's something, his mobility is going to be there.
He's already overcame a torn ACL.
Right. And looked like Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Came back. Joe Burrow has the talent to be the second best quarterback in that league. He's proven it. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's a guy that elevates. Now he's had the talent. And you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but he's still a quarterback that I believe in. Even if they move on from T. Higgins, not just after this season, but if he's unhappy and does get his trade, like he's an elevator. He is someone that can play inside, outside of a system, and if he's on the field, that's why Cincinnati has an opportunity, because they're going to need Joe Burrow to be that elite guy, because their defense is taking some steps back. They've when it comes to the contracts, Trey Hendrickson, their standout defensive end, was already unhappy. So yeah, they got a lot of in-house things, just kind of settle down and get everyone back. But it's going to be easy to do when you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback.
Yeah, and we'll watch this thing as it goes all summer. I feel more comfortable, and I don't know why. I understand it's his throwing arm. I mean, if it was a shoulder, would I feel any different? I don't know. It feels like medicine and recovery and just the whole process is so different. If I'm watching Aaron Rodgers think he's ready to come back from an Achilles, in 12 weeks or whatever the number is, I feel like a guy coming back from a wrist. I don't know. Maybe it's naive and it's not my wrist, so it doesn't hurt, But it feels like that dude's going to be okay. All of a sudden, I know we did this earlier on the AFC. Take a look at the AFC. Give me your 7. Like right now, way too early. I mean, who are your playoff teams? Like, who do you like out of the East? Buffalo, Miami, the Jets.
Playoff teams in the AFC.
Yeah.
I'm going Kansas City.
Of course.
Houston.
Yep. Baltimore. Yep.
Kansas City, Houston, San Diego.
So somebody's got to win the East. That's 3. Kansas City, Houston, Baltimore. Then somebody's got to win the East, and then you get 3 wild cards.
And I'll go Buffalo.
Okay.
Cincinnati. Dolphins and Jets.
So you left the Chargers out again. Okay. Left the Raiders out. Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's going to be a lot better. So my 2 teams that kind of pop up next year to me, Jacksonville and Arizona, as we sit here today. That could change as we get closer. I think Jacksonville was the classic underachiever last year, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to make strides this year. Last year everybody was on Trevor Lawrence is going to be the MVP, and we that slowed quite a bit. Jacksonville and Arizona right now, as we sit here today, are my 2 teams that come from not playoff teams to making some noise. Who do you got 2?
I like Arizona's that team because Jacksonville's not crazy. They were there and they didn't finish season.
Right.
But to your point, you have to look at Arizona would be one of those complete flip teams.
If Kyler Murray can play football next year and he's got weapons, I mean, he's your guy.
Weapon.
He got a weapon. Yeah.
Like I think I'm still a little worried about James Conner for 17 games.
Okay.
They need Marvin Harrison Jr. to get all the targets he can handle.
He is. Greg Dortch became a nice receiver, but yeah, you're right. They're not loaded at that position. Fair enough.
No, but that's the statement you're looking for. Is coming out of nowhere. It would be a team like Arizona because even the other squads, if you say with rookie quarterbacks, like the Bears still, is a 7-win team.
People love the Bears.
And
what about Minnesota, man?
Montez Sweat, what they've done in the back end.
What about Minnesota, dude? They were the number 2 seed in the NFC a year ago, or 2 years ago. Last year didn't make the playoffs. Went out and got themselves what they think is their franchise quarterback. They were playing with how many quarterbacks? I can't think Minnesota's far off.
I don't see them.
That division interesting.
Well, the division difficult, and I think JJ McCarthy. Look, as I stumble through my words here, I think we were spoiled by CJ Stroud, and I think even with the team that's like Minnesota is not a team that you look at and go, well, this is a disaster. I just think it's 7-8 win team next year.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, 7 to 8. Could be 9 to 10 with a couple of breaks here and there, right? And we'll see. I've got over saying they can't win with a rookie quarterback after seeing what happened with CJ Stroud last year.
But then that's one out of how
that's
many?
The anomaly. No, I get it, but that shows me it can't happen. And I got to believe out of the 6 that were drafted in the first 12 picks, while the odds tell me 3 of them will not be good in the NFL, something tells me that one of them is going to get their team to the playoffs.
What? Yes, and I believe it could be one of those NFC North teams, Chicago or Minnesota.
Okay. Yes. It would be Chicago, Minnesota. Where else am I looking?
It's not going to be the Commanders.
It's not Denver. It's not the
Drake May.
Commanders. It's not
Michael
New
Penix.
England. It's not Michael Penix. So it's one of those 2. Yeah. All right. We'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through. What day is today? It's through your Tuesday. When we get back, I want to tell you about International Protective Service because they continue to do amazing things and they're taking security to a whole new level. Like literally, a whole new level. So for 18 years, IPS has offered standing guards and 24-hour patrols. They protect homes and businesses in Albuquerque. Recently, they launched service in Santa Fe, but now IPS Global Aviation is using a fleet of drones with high-definition cameras and analytics software that exceeds your security expectations. So with the drones, IPS can monitor your next event, or they can track emergency response, and they'll follow criminal activity that you can't see as well from the ground. The drones include thermal imaging, so IPS can help with eyes in the sky during the wildfire season. It's unmatched ability to watch from the air. From the ground, IPS continues to use highly trained armed officers to watch homes and businesses. That means a lot to you because they are there. They install cameras. They monitor them around the clock. That deters criminal activity around your property. They even offer personal bodyguards if there's a threat to your safety. If you got a security issue, IPS has you covered. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
This is Andrew Perloff with a sports minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I think shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. Hey, boys and girls.
Run off their home floor last night up at Ball Arena. Timberwolves 106. Chicken nuggets 80. Love headed back to
Overdone nuggets.
Overdone nuggets.
Stale nuggets. Burger King nuggets.
Those aren't good? I never had those. I'm not sure I've ever had McDonald's nuggets now that I think about it. Maybe I've chewed on one when my kid had one. Yeah. Other game last night.
The drive-through.
Knicks beat the Pacers 121-117. People will be talking about the controversy at the end. A offensive foul, illegal pick called on Miles Turner late in the game for Indiana. Indiana turned the ball over. There was a kicked ball that wasn't called a kick ball that prevented an Indiana turnover. It was not a kicked ball, and Indiana scathed over that. Tonight you get Boston.
We're going to be watching NBA Finals. Like, wait a second. Why is Boston playing New York? They're supposed to play a Western Conference team.
We get the two East Coast teams. Boston plays tonight. They play Cleveland. Game 1 Eastern Conference semifinal. That'll be in Massachusetts. And then we go to Oklahoma, Dallas, and OKC. Game 1 of that Western Conference semifinal. Hockey tonight, Carolina at the Rangers. Carolina's down 1-0 in that series. And the Avalanche open up the new series. They will be in Dallas tonight for game 1 of that Western Conference semifinal. Jalen House has been invited to the G League Elite camp where he gets to go showcase his talent to the NBA scouts. And what else I got? Anything big on my list here? That's kind of it. Yeah, if you want to listen to Eric Quill, United head coach, he was with us. That'll be available wherever you get your podcast. It's on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and you can listen to that, or you can listen to Kicking with Kenny or anything we had today. It's all there. You can listen to the show. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. This one's on JJ's organization from Richard. Jeff, God, they're piling on you. It's not even about the Nuggets, dude. Where's the help going to come from? I think they've already plucked what little there was in AAA, and the guys they got are mostly help on the offensive side of the ball. I don't see anyone that's going to be a shutdown defender in Denver. The Rocks finish 50 lengths back.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Yeah, I thought
piling on me. They should probably finish 55 lengths back.
So you say north of 50?
Like people act like they're breaking news. Like, oh, the Topes aren't good. Oh my gosh, where's all? Yes, if you watch this organization,
8-26.
There's no pitching.
None.
Not even offense this year.
None.
Jordan Beck is 3 for 21. That's going up to the big leagues.
Yep. Yeah, they're no good. I mean, it's how'd they get that bad? And that's a long dive into it. And I do. I really feel bad for Bud Black because I like him a lot. And he's an Aztec, and I think he's not a bad manager. And he seems like a likable guy. That's such a tough spot. I mean, there's only 32 jobs.
Well, the Rockies have become one of those organizations.
Like
they're
who?
irrelevant in sport.
Like who? I mean, like who else in baseball is like that? Kansas City?
That was going to be the A's. They find ways to win games. Even when you're trying to sabotage them, they win.
Yeah, they're 3 games back. Rockies are already 14 and a half back. We barely played a month. Like, we played 34 games out of a 162 game schedule. They're already 14 and a half games back. Like, they're already mathematically eliminated. I obviously not, but right. But you said they were on opening day. They were already 7 games back. You were done with it. Huge day with JJ, says Jack. Jeff, maybe we can get Mystig to put together a sweet deal. I think he's talking about Stigma. For $99, you get to experience a huge day with JJ. For $149, you get the VIP package with tickets to a live OD taping. We don't tape; we're all live, but I get the point. So $149, you come in, you get to experience the live show, and hang out with JJ during one of his huge days, because you got huge days on a regular basis.
Every day is a huge day.
I mean, as long as JJ gets the money, I'm fine with it. I think he's fine with it too. Right? Where's the money going?
Could be onto something.
Yeah. Yep. Sell huge days with JJ Buck. That could be your podcast. A huge day with JJ Buck. Text line. I told you guys last week Minnesota's winning it all. Yeah, probably you did. Yeah, I believe you did. Gus on the Isotopes and Chihuahuas. Jeff, 2 clubs buried in the standings, just trying to figure something out going to the second half, right? Yes. I feel like I was just at an Isotopes Chihuahua game down in El Paso.
Well, they play every other week.
Feels like they do. And if it's not them, it's the Space Cowboys or Oklahoma City Baseball Club. Kind of feels, remember when the Slam played the same teams? It was like St. Louis Breakers or whatever they were, and played the same teams all the time. Because when they watered this down, there's only 10 teams in the PCL now, right? That is what it is. United get a different team tomorrow. You get Real, Salt Lake. It's exciting. And I think the town will buzz a little bit with an MLS team coming in. Certainly the soccer community would. What kind of crowd they get tomorrow? Because season tickets don't cover that. So you got to ask everybody to buy new tickets. It's a Wednesday night. It should be good weather. Maybe a little windy. 8,000?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Like this big opportunity, MLS team coming in. And it's, that big brother versus little brother mentality. With MLS trying to, pull out and focus on other things. And, talking with United head coach Eric Quill, he said, they need to figure something out because this tournament does matter. It provides buzz to communities that don't get that kind of buzz. It's an opportunity.
It matters for those communities. Like, how do they feel? If you're a fan of Real Salt Lake, what do you think of this tomorrow?
The only way you feel something is if they lose.
Right? Like, you don't give a damn, do you?
But that's also the point. That's what makes it fun, because if you get got,
but are they really?
We didn't really care, but that's fine. It matters for the teams that won that.
Yeah, if you're a Real Salt Lake,
and if you're trying to build soccer in the United States, it can't just be at the MLS level.
That's probably right.
And this is a U.S. Soccer Cup.
My point is, if you're a Real Salt Lake fan and you get beat by Albuquerque, you're like, whatever, man. We didn't play our whole squad and we're in first place in the MLS. That's what matters. Who cares about this damn cup? Right? You care about it when you win. We cared about it when Messi was playing in it last year, right? When he was in the final and the semifinal. Wasn't he in this thing last year? They weren't in it last year, the U.S. Open Cup, when Messi joined Miami? I thought they were like, yeah, you're like, I don't know, and you're the soccer guy. No, I think they were.
Well, I think that's part of, just trying to manage how many things that they're trying to do. The Leagues Cup, then they have, the cup with Liga MX in Mexico, U.S. Open Cup.
At some point, you'll scratch your head and you just go, what are we doing? Who are we playing? Because to your point, you're selling soccer fans here how big a game against Oakland Roots is on Saturday because it's a Western Conference game. But then this is big but not bigger but bigger, if that makes sense, because it's an MLS team. And then you got the friendly coming in. You got a team from don't they have 2 friendlies lined up? One from Mexico, one from Premier League, I think, coming in. So you got all these different things that you're trying to, and I think people do get confused, like why, and everything's historical. Oh, it's historical. First time, this is history, and you kind of get numb to the this is history thing. And I think people are just trying to go, okay, what's really important?
But this is one that been there, done that. Like, this should work. Like, this
I agree.
should matter.
I agree.
Soccer in the United States.
Yeah, I agree. All right, this came down this morning too. Tiger Woods is in the 2024 PGA Championship, which is next week in Valhalla. For first time he's in the PGA Championship since 2022. I guess that was 1 year ago. I mean, this 1 year, whatever. Silly heaven. But he's in. So you get Tiger next week in the major. Thanks to Eric Quill, head coach, technical director, New Mexico United. He was here today. So was Kenny Thomas. He brought Catherine with him. Jim Rome Show is next. I heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4 o'clock, and we're back with you get Isotopes Baseball at the Chihuahuas tonight. Then we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work. Looks good on the TV side. I saw all the pictures of Eric Quill and all the stuff you put in. JJ, big day?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Henry.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Albuquerque's leader in